Well, hello Internet World, Station here. I'm super excited to get the Yeedi Mop Station. This is the first self-washing robot from Yeedi and it has a couple unique features. For starters, it has a couple cool controls up top here. Also, you got your fresh water tank, your dirty water tank, and self-counter rotating mopping pads to keep your floor nice and shiny. But is it enough to persuade the competition? Well, we have some interesting self-washing robots. We got the Narwal T10, we got the DreameTech W10. These are very good competitors with a lot of navigation and some unique features. But at a couple $100 cheaper, the Yeedi Mop Station might be the best self-washing robot out there. What in the world is this thing doing over there? Alright, get it, iRobot. You're not included in my video. Alright, hold on 1 second.
Returning to the dock to charge.
Returning home. Repositioning. Please do not move the robot.
Alright, so let's talk about the Yeedi Mop Station. Both the Narwal T10 and DreameTech W10 have ladder-based navigation, whereas the Yeedi has a camera-based system. Yeti's been tending to stick with this camera-based system for a while. So despite it being a camera-based navigation, you do have live tracking where it creates a map as it's going around cleaning your floor plan. Also, you have the ability to create areas. You can also create rooms. Unfortunately, the application creates its own rooms. You cannot edit the rooms, so that's just something to consider. So like with a lot of smart mapping robots, you do have the ability to create an area, and despite not having a lot of base navigation, the camera system does a pretty good job tracking where the boundaries are. So for example, if I have this square right here, hopefully my camera focuses, you can see that the Yeti is kind of following that edge there, and then we'll go back towards the entryway. Alright, so I will have an official review of the DreameTech W10 in a few weeks, so hang tight if you want to see that mopping robot. So for this demonstration, all three robots have a mopping plate where you can actually suck the water to a dirty water tank. Also, you can see that there's some ridges there where the mopping pads spin and kind of scrape off the dirt. Both the T10 and W10 have a removable mopping plate, whereas the Yeti doesn't, so that kind of makes it a little bit harder to clean out if you need to remove the excessive dirt. Well, what do you guys think of the styling of the Yeedi Mop Station? I personally like it. I think it's more stylish than the T10 and W10. Now, all three mopping robots have the same principles, where they have a fresh water tank, which is around 4 liters, and a dirty water tank, which is about the same size. Now, there's a pump that pumps the dirty water into the tank, and there's some scraping pads or plastic little ridges that help remove the dirt and grime. Okay, so all three models do require you to physically remove the mopping pads if you want to vacuum the carpet. Unfortunately, there's no way to have it automatically do this, so there's a couple tricks that these mopping robots do since you can't physically remove the mopping pads. So both the Yeedi and W10 have this ultrasonic sensor, so when it's mopping it will actually avoid the carpets, and when it's vacuuming it will actually boost up the suction. I find this sensor to be very accurate. It hasn't skipped a beat. I tried this on area rugs, different types of carpeting, different thickness, and it kept the robot off the carpets when it's mopping. Alright, so Yeti's been making a lot of robot vacuums and been innovating. They have the Yeedi Vac Station and then the Mop Station. As you can see, the application is fairly basic. It works well, but for the price, I kind of wish you had more features. You can create areas. You do have the ability to change the fan speed. I think there's like 3 different levels. You also have these little tabs off to the right that kind of look like a little fan blade. This allows you to tell the robot to go back and wash its mopping pad. So I tested a handful of mopping robots, and in my opinion, I'll go with like the Yeedi Mop Station or the DreameTech W10. Now, one of the biggest downsides to the Narwal T10 is the fact you have to physically remove the mopping plate if you wanted to vacuum, and you can see it's a suction only port. There's no spinning extractor bar, so this can be a big letdown if you wanted to vacuum and mop at the same time. Since the Narwhal T10 had the mopping pads up front, there was no dedicated carpet avoidance sensor, so without this you had to go into the app and create no mopping zones. This became challenging if you had to avoid area rugs or if you had the style of carpet where it kind of was a diagonal. It's hard to line up the no mopping zones. So I do appreciate the Yeedi and DreameTech for adding that carpet sensor. Also, both those robots have a dedicated spinning extractor bar, so it's a true vacuuming system, not just a suction only port. On the Yeti, you have three functions. You got the clean the mopping pad, play, pause, and return to home. Now, this is very similar to the DreameTech W10, where you have a play, pause button, but you do have an included LCD display, which gives you the percentage of the battery life. Also, if you hold down the home button, it will start the cleaning process. I'm not sure how useful this color display is other than being able to see how much battery life you have on your robot. Kind of wish there was like a little clock, maybe there's like a date time or some other useful features. Maybe they can update the software where you actually have a menu system. This is an example on the H10 where it's the most featured rich where you can basically change all the settings from the docking station. All three robots did a pretty good job navigating various obstacles. Now, the Yeti's at a disadvantage where it does have a LiDAR sensor, so it can't pick up larger objects. So what it does is kind of gently bumps into it like what the T10's doing. It's not going to cause any damage, and I prefer this since it can get closer to the object to clean around it. Okay, so let's go ahead and wrap up this video. Now, I did do a little bit different style review video instead of just focusing on the Yeedi Mop Station. I kind of want to give you guys an idea of what the competition looks like. Now, in terms of like the application, it's fairly basic over the other two models. You don't get as many features, but I suspect the Yeedi Mop Station will be cheaper than the competition. Now, the Narwhal T10 is close to $1,000, and I think the W10 is going to be about $850. I will have an official review of the W10 in a few weeks, so stay tuned for that, and I'll kind of give you my final thoughts then about the W10. So if you're looking for an easy to use mopping robot that can self-clean itself, and it might be cheaper than the competition, I think the Yeedi Mop Station isn't a bad buy. Now keep in mind that both the Narwhal T10 and the Yeedi don't have map saving. You can only save one map, where the W10 can save up to 3 maps. That's something to consider if you want to take this robot downstairs to vacuum. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons. So the pros is the carpet avoidance sensor. Also, the application's clean laid out. Has a couple features like changing the vacuum levels, the water levels. Now, the biggest con is the fact that you have to physically remove the mopping pads if you want to vacuum the carpet. There's no way to automatically do this process. Also, since it only supports one level, you can only do one floor plan. You have to remap if you want to take it to a different area. And the last thing I want to talk about is pricing. I know all three are very expensive. I'm not sure how much the mop station is. I haven't found an official price, but hopefully it's not too expensive, maybe around $400 or $500. This will definitely make it more competitive than the other two, which are close to $1,000. Alright, you guys have a great rest of the day. Thanks so much for watching this video. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. And stick around because I got the DreameTech W10 review coming out in a few weeks. Alright, see you later.